Welcome back. Fijian linked New Zealand Sevens players are here in the country attending the youth conference for a week. The duo have played a vital role in the All Blacks Sevens team and again hope to make their mark in the Las Vegas Sevens, where they are pooled with Fiji, Australia and Scotland. Vashnil Prasad with the story.
Finally a visit to their home country. All Blacks Fiji Sevens players David Raikuna and Luke Masirewa here in Fiji. The duo out preaching with youths, but at the same time not forgetting their trade.
Training's it's been good, struggling a bit with the weather. It's been really hard, but it's good to have Luki with me, Masirewa, someone to push me along as well.
Raikuna is in Gordon Tijan's extended squad, preparing for the Las Vegas and Wellington Sevens. 18-year-old Luke Masirewa will try to impress All Blacks head coach in the Bay of Plenty Sevens tournament on the 10th and 11th of January.
That tournament is very important because it's all the best players from around New Zealand playing in that tournament, and you have to perform every game. You can't have one bad game. You have to be there at that level all the time.
While he can only hope for a chance, Raikuna and the New Zealand Sevens team will move into camp from January 12th. Expect some new and former faces to be in the squad for the next leg.
Definitely Tomasi will be there. He's the general. He's like everyone says, like wine. He gets better when he gets older. Same for Lotte. He'll be still playing. His experience mostly needed in the team. As well, Ben Lam is also coming back from injury. Recovering really well, and Declan O'Donnell, who was Wellington Sevens star in 2011. So.
The world champions will be in camp for 4 days before leaving for Las Vegas.
It's the longest 4 days ever. It's just hectic. You're doing heaps of running, heaps of shouting, and so it's going to be the longest 4 days.
New Zealand is expected to come firing against Fiji in the Las Vegas pool match, especially after our memorable 44-0 thumping in Dubai last month. Vashnil Prasad, Fiji One News.
And Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan is still on leave. He arrived into the country early this morning and tweeted, quote, "Back in Fiji, LAX again a very long and trying place to transit, but once we sat on board everything was fantastic," unquote. Ryan is believed to be in the West enjoying the holidays before he starts preparations for Las Vegas next Monday. And Fiji Rugby Union Board of Directors, Management and Staff will be presenting their ringaringu for the late FRU President Ratu Isikeli Taserre on Tuesday, 7th January. On behalf of the FRU Board of Directors, Management and Staff, Acting CEO and Board Director Dr. Berlin Kafoa conveyed their condolences to the family of Ratu Taserre. A bus will leave FRU headquarters early Tuesday, where the national reps and former players can join in. Taserre hailed from the province of Nadrunga and played for the Loma Vata club. The former Flying Fijian prop played 13 games for the Flying Fijians and earned 4 test caps.
And we've asked all available staff and managers, as well as our board of directors, and some of his former teammates and former Fiji players to accompany us in the ring. Yes, it's definitely a loss for Fiji rugby, especially the president is elected by the union. Also a big loss for Nadrunga. I think that's why we are preparing for the ring to go over and pay our respects to our president.
The Fiji Under-20 rugby team have been drawn in a tough pool for the Junior World Championships that will be held in June. Fiji has been drawn with this year's runners-up Wales, France and Ireland in Pool B. 4-time winners New Zealand will face South Africa, Scotland and Samoa in Pool C, while defending champion England will meet traditional rivals Australia, Argentina and Italy in Pool A. The JWC will be held from June 2nd to 20th in New Zealand next year. The passion and love for the sport of Sevens rugby is the backbone for Red Rock coach Lotte Rasinga as he looks back at their achievements in the year. The champions side looked focused in the gym session and hoped for a positive year 2014. Selina Navuso with the details.
With only a day left to welcome the new year, Red Rock coach Lotte Rasinga was busy at his home gym in Gawea monitoring training. Rasinga says their main aim now is to maintain the boys' fitness level.
Yeah, I think we have been taking part in so many small tournaments, like Nakelo, Brimbasang and all these small tournaments. Build up for our teamwork.
With next year's first tournament, the Ulunakau Sevens just around the corner, time is of the essence.
We only not come to participate, but we come up to win the tournament because we always give our 100% in every tournament. We never come up just to take part, no. We come up to win.
Red Rock has produced players who have stamped their mark not only here but abroad. Though the returns are minimal, Risinga says he's thankful to have played a major part in moulding the future of these players.
We have given to the nations many young players going out to the Fiji team, especially going out to contract overseas. They are there now. But there are no... and the benefits when they come back, if they still remember us, they just can give us one ball. That's all what we need.
Selina Navuso for Fiji One News.
The English Premier League, Arsenal have once again taken a firm lead on the EPL table, beating Newcastle 1-0 this morning. Olivier Giroud's header earned a scrappy win over Newcastle as Arsenal overtook Manchester City to regain top spot in the Premier League. They now sit on 42 points, a point ahead of Man City. Chelsea ends the year just 2 points behind Premier League leaders Arsenal after an impressive performance against Liverpool, beating them 2-1. Chelsea opened the account on the 17th minute when Eden Hazard's right-footed shot from outside the box went to the top right corner. Chelsea led 1-0. On 34th minute, Blues' Samuel Eto'o got the second goal for the side with his left-footed shot from very close range to the bottom left corner. Chelsea now sits on third on the EPL table, 3 points behind leaders Arsenal. Hull scored 6 second-half goals to thrash Fulham and goes 7 points clear of the Premier League relegation zone. It was the Tigers' biggest ever victory in the Premier League. Ahmed El Mohammadi scored one of the goals for the side. He promised not to have his hair cut unless he scored a goal this season, and that came true against Fulham. The Fiji Hockey Federation is hoping to get more game time in the five-a-side version as they prepare for their teams for the Youth Olympic Games in China next year. The side got the feel of it early this month and hope to perfect their game before taking part on the world stage.
Game time is what's lacking for the Fiji Hockey Under-18 players as they prepare for the Youth Olympic Games in China. Head coach Hector Smith says both the girls and the boys teams need to get exposure beyond their level.
You need to play above your, punch above your weight all the time in order to get better because it pushes you. If you start winning comfortably, then you feel satisfied as your result.
Both the sides played their first ever five-a-side test against Australian country early this month, and they hope to get the feel of it again during the qualification round in Vanuatu next year.
You can't ask for a better competition. Australia is a powerhouse team. You go down to their club level, it's strong. You go to their district level, it's even strong as national teams. So I think it's the best preparation that the coaches for this under-18 side could have asked for. And
Smith hopes the players will show dedication and determination. He, along with the coaches, have mapped out plans before the games in China.
The advice has been given, you have to play at competition level, not at qualifiers level, at competition level. At competition level, they have already had an indication here how hard it's going to be.
All in a hope that Fiji Under-18s will get a feel before the real test. Vashnil Prasad, Fiji One News.
Fiji Taekwondo is looking forward to a positive performance next year after failing to produce results at the last mini-games. Taekwondo official Nilu Nand says they are happy with the achievements so far and look forward to more competitions in the coming year.
It's been a fairly good year. Mixed reactions from the mini games in Wallis and Futuna, where we only came back with 2 bronze medals. However, despite that, we had a very big turnout in our end of the year competition, which was the Ambassadors Cup.
Taekwondo Fiji had received a lot of assistance from the Korean embassy.
We've got a lot of kids coming in from the primary school level as well, and we're thinking of developing them so that we can groom them the way we want them to compete in the future games.
And Alistair Cook is determined to continue as England captain, but admits his future is far from certain. Cook has overseen a disastrous Ashes campaign, with England now one loss away from a 5-0 whitewash, following an 8-wicket defeat in Melbourne.
There he goes.
There it is.
There's your beauty.
Unbridled joy in the Aussie cricketing ranks. Another Test win over England, and loving every minute.
I don't know what England can muster.
There's a lot of things we are struggling to explain. You can see when you're a winning side and a settled side, it makes a lot of difference. But you can't use that as an excuse. You can't use any of what's happened as an excuse.
Last night, England looked like they might finish on top before a shocking collapse effectively cost them the game.
Oh, he's out. Whoa, he's out. Oh, and he's bowling. Edge, straight to Michael Clark.
England losing 5 wickets for 6 runs. Australia with just 232 to win.
Again he goes.
This morning, Captain Cook's hands letting him down.
Oh! God! Oh!
David Warner eventually went at 64.
Edge and gone.
But Australia still piled it on. 113 runs coming in the first session.
Well, that's a good shot. It's that late cut again.
Chris Rogers raising his second Test century after lunch.
He's done it. And what a way to do it.
He lost his wicket with victory in sight, but Watson and Clark cruising to an 8-wicket win with a day and a half to spare.
I certainly had faith that we could win the series, but to be 4-0 up is, well, it's hard to describe. It's an amazing feeling.
And odds on to complete the 5-0 whitewash in Sydney later this week.
Heavy winds have caused problems for the smaller yachts, but they're still finishing the Sydney to Hobart race with 3 boats damaged and a crew member taken to shore with a broken leg. Meanwhile, Wild Oats 11 has claimed the recording 7th line on its victory, finishing the Blue Water Classic in 2 days, 6 hours, 7 minutes and 27 seconds. Former defending champion Perpetual Royal had the lead in the light winds, but in the end, Wild Oats was the fastest.
It was flying. You know, we sailed the 13 miles out of them, and then just, I think we've beaten by about 55 miles, you know, which is just amazing. So the old girl still got the legs, that's for sure.
And finally in sport, the Breakers have taken the first step to register their flagging season with a win in the Australian Basketball League. The defending champions toppling the Sydney Kings 99-83.
Desperate times for the bottom of the table Breakers, and with the injured Alex Pledger missing from action, this was never going to be pretty.
Gets past Corletto and lays it in. That just didn't even look fair.
Though Sydney probably weren't such big fans of this.
Wilkinson for the jam.
Gary Wilkinson charged with filling Pledger's shoes in the starting lineup, managing to find the basket with some ease.
Working for that jump hook, eventually gets it. Boy, don't the good players have all the time in the world.
That would go for Ben Madgen too, the Sydney sharpshooter keeping the game close as the Breakers won an ugly first half battle to go ahead by 1 point.
Catch and shoot, it's straight, it's good.
There would be no major breakaway in the third quarter despite Tom Abercrombie's best efforts.
Extra pass by CJ Bruce gets their franchise player going.
The defending champs trailing by 2 points heading into the final quarter, but finally they managed to find a finishing touch.
There it is, New Zealand starting to show the goods. Corletto just walks into the lane.
The path to the basket suddenly wide open. Caron Johnson made the most of it. He finished with 21 points as the Breakers managed to put their foot on the opposition's throat. Gary Wilkinson also crucial with a game-high 31, the club snapping a 3-game losing streak to move to 6th on the ladder.
And that's all we have from the sports desk tonight. I'll hand it back to Vili.
Thanks, Drew. Stay with us for World News after the break.